Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Sports Stuff video. Today, we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens and their offseason plan to truly win a Super Bowl under Lamar Jackson and Jim Harbaugh. And Harbaugh. I'm blanking on his name, man. I hate the Harbaughs. I hate how they basically look the exact same, and I can never know which one is which. But yeah, Baltimore Ravens offseason plan. How can we win Lamar Jackson in a Super Bowl? How can we really help him in this offseason to get him weapons, build the defense and the offensive line to ensure Lamar has the best chance to win a Super Bowl? Let's get into it. So, starting off at cuts and or trades, they're at positive $12 million when it comes to their cap space. So let's do some finagling to open up a little bit more room. First off, I'm going to be cutting Justin Tucker. Last season was 73% on field goal percentage, meaning he was 22 of 30. His off-the-field issues are enough for me to cut him. Honestly, as a Browns fan, I wish we didn't have the off-the-field issues that we have. But he had the worst year of his career on top of the off-the-field issues. He's going to go down as probably the most accurate kicker of all time. Probably not the best as Adam Vinatieri, this Steven Gostkowski. But we're going to move on. While he's regressing, but we're going to blame the off-the-field issues. We saved $4 million of the cap. Mainly the off-the-field issues is why I'm getting rid of him. I don't want that man touching this field ever again in any team in the NFL. Then, for some restructures, these are three guys I just don't see leaving the team anytime soon. So Lamar Jackson will get restructured, open up $16 million. Marlon Humphrey, the corner, could be restructuring, open up 11. And then Roquan Smith, restructure, opening up 9, the linebacker. I see these guys at least for the next 4 to 5 years being on the team or retiring a Raven. So we're fine pushing that money back, opening up $36 million in cap space. Meaning we have about $50 million to re-sign our own guys and also go into free agency. But with the re-signings first, we are re-signing Darius Washington, which they've already done. They did about 20 minutes before I recorded this video. So Darius Washington is now tendered. Last year had 45 tackles, 2 interceptions, 16 run stops, and 7 pass breakups. He has been a really good coverage safety last year. He really stepped into Geno Smith's role from 2023, where he led the league in interceptions. Darius Washington really stepped in and became a really good coverage safety last year. Plus, he's a willing run defender. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm shocked he's only 5'8". He has really long arms, and the way he jumps, I thought he was at least 5'11", 6 foot. But no, he's 5'8", and he's playing really well. So I'm in a second round tender him to avoid him walking for nothing. So if a team does want to sign Darius Washington, they have to trade a second round pick for it. No one's going to do that for Darius Washington. So we're going to be having him on for $5 million next year to ensure we have him for the long run. Then going into free agency, no other re-signs I'm going to be doing. In free agency, let's do some math and try and figure out how we can, make this team better. First off, I'm going to be signing Davante Adams. So very obvious who's not trying to sign Davante Adams. But Davante last year had 85 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He came to New York to play with Aaron Rodgers. And obviously with Aaron Rodgers and him being cut, that's not happening. So I do think at the end of the day, he wants to win a ring. He was able to play with Aaron one more time. I think there is a chance he could follow Aaron Rodgers wherever he goes, but I think he's trying to win a Super Bowl ring right now. New York will be paying him $28 million after cutting him. So he's not going to be signed anywhere for, $50 million a year. I think it's going to be a smaller deal, knowing he's getting paid $28 million from New York. That's good. So they're going to pay him $5.5 to make him the highest paid non-quarterback next year. In addition, with the $28 million from New York, making $33.5. That's pretty good. I think that's number 1 wide receiver money. And he's going to be the true wide receiver one this offense has been missing for the last 7-8 years. So give him 1 year, 5.5. Some people will say, well, when is the last time signing an old veteran wide receiver has worked for a team? Listen, Davante Adams is still a good route runner. He still is able to sell in his breaks. I really think Davante Adams can have another dominant, 1,200-yard season. And I think it's well in the works for what this team can do. Him and Zay Flowers with their rotation of Rashad Bateman and whoever else you want to add, that is a room that I believe in. Then we'll be going after Draymond Jones, also cap casualty from the Seattle Seahawks. Last year had 14 tackles, 3 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 13 run stops, and 45 pressures. He was once a great run stopper, but I do think his role was changed when he went to Seattle, became more of a pass rusher. I think he's going to play over Broderick Washington at 3-4 defensive ends. I did not cut Broderick Washington. I decided to keep him because I'm like, you know what? It's not awful to have someone who knows the system on the team in case Draymond Jones struggles in the beginning. So I'm going to be signing Draymond Jones for sure. He would be the number 3 option on the interior next to Michael Pierce and next to Nnamdi Madubuike. So that's why I was thinking of let's get Draymond Jones, get a true veteran to finish out this interior of this 3-4 scheme and move on. I give him a 2-year, $13.5 million deal, $9.5 million guaranteed at 70% guaranteed. Next, I'm going to be signing Matt Judon as well. Matt Judon had 28 tackles, 6 sacks, 21 run stops, and 25 pressures last year. He is still effective, and he proved that when he was in Atlanta last year. Instead of being a starter in Baltimore, he'd be a rotation guy in Baltimore. Still a high-end rotation guy, but he can still, produce well in a rotation role. He can elevate the group altogether. He can play for a Super Bowl, and he's a very good power rusher. So it gives a different scheme. Like Odafe Owe is definitely more of a speed guy, and David Ojabo really hasn't hit because of those back-to-back injuries at the start of his career. He still has not hit as that power rusher. So bring Matt Judon, bring a different energy to the room. Him and Kyle Van Noy as the two veterans that can still produce. I like that. 1 year, $4.5 million to bring back Matt Judon to the Baltimore Ravens. And finally, I'm going to be signing Will Hernandez, the guard from Arizona. Will Hernandez had a 69 PFF grade, 74 pass blocking, 66 run blocking last year. He thrived in a similar system in Arizona. We have a very athletic quarterback who makes plays with his legs and can extend plays. You can get him for pretty dirt cheap. He's definitely rebounded after his lows in New York to start his career. There's a chance he doesn't leave Arizona. There's a chance they re-sign him. But I do think that the Baltimore Ravens have a real chance to get Will Hernandez, who has experience with a very athletic quarterback like Lamar, like Kyler Murray. I like the odds of him signing. I like the scheme fit of it as well. So I give him up for $3 million. So entering the draft, you're at $29 million. So you definitely can go and get more guys. Maybe you go for a Joey Bosa who just got cut today. Maybe you go for a trade of someone who's a fringe roster guy somewhere else. You trade like a sixth and you get them on your team. What if you want to do that $29 million? That's okay. But I ensure that we had a very large draft class. So I want to open up about $15 million of cap space to sign this draft class. I mean, you have about $15 million to go out and sign some guys. But let's talk about the draft now for the Baltimore Ravens. After, ensuring that your offensive line interior stays the same, you let some guys walk in free agency, but you get a pass rusher, a run stopper, a number one wide receiver, a good offensive lineman. Let's now go into the draft and see what we need to do. So at number 27, I'm going to grab Gray Zabel from NDSU. To me, Gray Zabel is an absolute bona fide first-round pick. He's a very, very, very powerful guard, tackle when it comes to the pass blocking game. After the combine, there's rumors that, he did have not the best interviews with teams. But for me, film talks more than anything. So Gray Zabel, and also I want to add this as well. For me, any guys that I really like, either the Ravens or the Steelers draft them, right? It has been consistently the last 5 drafts. Every time I go, I really like this player. They get drafted by my division rival. So Gray Zabel, I really like. I think he's going to end up on the Baltimore Ravens, and he's going to start at left tackle. I let Ronnie Stanley walk for a reason. I think Gray Zabel, very athletic left tackle, very powerful, good at pass blocking, effective run blocker as well. I think Gray Zabel is exactly what the Ravens want. Him and Roger Rosengarten are going to be the tackles of the future. Then at number 59, grabbing Darian Porter, a very athletic, big corner. I think he can take over from Marlon Humphrey once Marlon is retired, because I think he is towards the end of his career. But at worst, you now have a true number 2 outside corner that you haven't had for the last couple of years, right? Darian Porter, I think he's 6'2", 210, ball hawking corner from Iowa State, very fast as well. I love his combine performance. I think you can get a true number 2 corner for now at the number 59 who can develop into the number 1 corner in the future. Very good zone guy, good press man, long arms, good downfield speed. I think Darian Porter is exactly what the Baltimore Ravens are missing. Then number 91, you'd be shocked grabbing another tackle in Wyatt Millum, but all the rumors I've heard, Wyatt Millum is going to be moving the guard in the NFL. So Wyatt Millum, very, very just pure athlete right now, right? He's more athlete than offensive lineman. So move him in the guard. He's an oversized guard, but that's what the Ravens love. They love very big guards. Ben Powers and Ben Cleveland were very big interior offensive linemen, and Wyatt Millum fits that mold exactly. Very good run blocker, good pass blocker, but definitely run blocking in this game. But Wyatt Millum, I think, is a perfect fit for this Baltimore Ravens offense. Then Antoine Power-Ryland. Again, I really like Antoine Power-Ryland. He's a 3-4 outside linebacker at Virginia Tech. Very good pure pass rusher. His numbers speak for himself. Very lengthy as well. Didn't have the combine performance I thought he'd have. Not as powerful as I thought he'd be, not as strong. But I think, again, film speaks more. He's still an early day 3 guy for me. Another early day 3 guy for me is Zy Alexander, another ball hawking corner, more zone than man. So, he can, maybe they can, teach him to play a little bit more press man. But I know this Ravens defense does, throws different schemes together every week. So Zy Alexander at corner as probably your cornerback number 3 coming out. Because again, this is a very thin cornerback room. These guys will probably play starting minutes immediately, right? So Zy Alexander, more compact frame, but I think just as athletic as Darian Porter, just smaller, not as good as a ball hawker, and more of a zone scheme guy. Then at number 176, grabbing Cody Simon, an all-around linebacker. Started at Ohio State this past season on the national championship run. I really like Cody Simon as a day 3 pick, as a guy you can develop. He's like a homing missile, right? In the run game, he's a homing missile, goes head first into these stops. And I think that the Ravens love that kind of energy. I think Cody Simon would do really well in this system. And all you have to do is fight Trenton Simpson for his starting job. I'm not gonna lie, Trenton Simpson versus Cody Simon, that'd be an intriguing training camp battle. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Then number 184, grabbing Jonah Monheim to be a backup center. Again, you already have Tyler Linderbaum. Jonah Monheim is not starting for you. He's a backup. Maybe can move the guard and start for you. But it's an athletic backup center, and break in case of emergency, whether it's because Linderbaum's hurt or he needs to take a break, you can trust Jonah Monheim to be somewhat of a replacement. Then Achille Arnold from USC, a guy, a Swiss Army knife for this defense. He played corner, free safety, strong safety. He blitzed as well. This is a dude that you can throw out there on the field, and he'll make football plays. And that's what you really want when you're in day 3. Towards the end of day 3, is either guys who are really good at one thing or guys who are mediocre at a lot of things. I think Achille Arnold is mediocre at a lot of things and can fill in for injuries in case they start happening. Then at 210, grabbing Luke Lockey, a receiving tight end from Iowa. Usually Iowa tight ends are really highly drafted, but Luke Lockey, just not the same cut of mold as some of these guys are in the NFL right now. Noah Fant, T.J. Hawkinson. There's not the same dudes, right? There's not a lot of guys that are like that coming out of Iowa right now. But Luke Lockey, as a receiving tight end, probably your tight end number 4, because you have Mark Andrews, you have Isaiah Likely, you have you have the run blocking tight end as well behind Isaiah Likely. So, Luke Lockey's at best tight end number 4, might not even make the roster, but I think he's a good enough receiver that you can, have him as a tight end, wide receiver mix, and he can make the roster. Then LaQuinden Jackson, again, you guys know I love LaQuinden Jackson, pure hard-nosed running back. Kareem Hunt has been my comp for him. I think it's him given the ball in the red zone, he will fight for the yardage and fight for the touchdown. A special teams guy, and a rotational guy in situations in the 6th round. Then in the 7th round, y'all know I love Zachary Franklin. I think he's actually an underrated route runner, underrated speed, big body wide receiver that I think this offense really needs is a big body, young, athletic wide receiver. You have Zay Flowers, you have Rashad Bateman, you now have Devontae Adams, obviously, but Zachary Franklin is just different, right? He's an okay route runner, but a very big body, jump up and get the ball wide receiver. And y'all know I don't really like jump ball wide receivers, but I think Zachary Franklin absolutely is a perfect fit for the Ravens are trying to do. So it gives me a B+. I think it's pretty good. All the way through the 6th round, they give me really good grades, which I agree on. I drafted guys right where they were, right where I would. Wyatt Millum, obviously, moving the guard is a steal at number 91, because I think he'll be much better and projected much better at guard than tackle in the NFL. But if you guys enjoy it, let me know in the comments down below what you rate my offseason. Heavily invested in the offensive line in the draft and in free agency. Defensively, getting a lot of guys in free agency. And then, getting those quick rotation guys, potential starters in the draft. And most importantly, just ensuring that Lamar Jackson has the best chance to win a Super Bowl next year in the AFC. Getting Devontae Adams, getting Gray Zabel, Wyatt Millum. Ensuring that the offensive line has a future that you can immediately contend. It's a great balance of everything. So if you guys enjoy, please do like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next. And I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.